our thoughts and feelings are our own and are not representative of electronic arts as a whole or anyone else.
Once again, it's time for the Team Lift podcast with your hosts, Brandon Bowie and Roderick McDaniel. Let's go ahead and get right into the show. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Otaku Lounge with your host, Roderick, Coach McDaniel, and my homie, Xane, Mr. D.
What
Lopez.
up?
What's going on, brother?
What up?
Hey, man, not a lot, man. We are really going to get into this. This is going to be a fun episode. We've been breaking them down. We talk about a lot of different stuff on the Otaku Lounge. Mm-hmm. But I think this is one of my favorite episodes because this one here is something we've been talking about, but we hadn't done as a show before. And the more we talked about it, as we kept going out to conventions, people kept saying, hey, you really should do a show like this. And so people have been reaching out to me lately, and they're saying, hey, I don't watch anime, but you're always kind of talking about some cool shows that I didn't even know were anime, and I kind of want to get into them. So what would you suggest for me? And so I kind of hit you up about this, and you say, yeah, I got some great ideas about this, you know. So I was trying to work around a way to do it, and there was, you know, just kind of some cool stuff. So when we started doing this, and I sent you the email, one of the things that we looked at were, I don't think people realize how many genres there are.
No.
So like when we say anime, it's so all-encompassing. It's almost like saying, well, what do you listen to for music? I listen to hip-hop, or I listen to rock. Well, that could mean anything. So are we saying you would listen to, you know, post-grunge rock, or you listening to metalcore, death metal, you know? Even if we broke down metal, there's so many subgenres under it. You break down hip-hop, there's so many subgenres.
Even today, there's so many within just alternative. Like,
yeah, so
insane. I
mean, that's our thing. So when people say anime, I don't think people think of genres that exist under anime that then fracture into subgenres.
Nah, it's all Pokemon and Naruto.
And that's what we're going to do. On this one, we are going to actually try to avoid the popular ones. We're like, you know, because it seems kind of lazy to say, oh, you know, you could always start with Dragon Ball Z. Actually, I think if you're a person that's trying to get people into anime and you're suggesting, you know, Dragon Ball Z or One Piece or anything that's, you know, some ungodly, you know, 300, 800 episodes worth of crap to watch to even get caught up, you're doing a disservice to people.
I was going to say exactly that, a disservice.
Yeah, you're not helping them out. When there are a lot of great series out there that have 12-episode seasons that are easy to get into. They play out like miniature soap operas or stories or a season of a great TV show, and they break down into so many genres. So just thinking about this, wanted to share this with you. I sent this list to Xane earlier. We started looking at, these are all the different genres that fall under anime, and we can break it down by action, comedy, drama, fan service.
I can't believe that's its own genre.
That is a genre.
It has to be like part of a like a show cannot simply just be fan service. I think it's fan service and something.
Nah, fan service.
I don't know of any. I mean, you might be able to think of plenty offhand, but I just.
Have you ever watched, like, what was that one about the girls that fought? Like most fighting girl shows are.
But they're still action.
Yeah, they're still weird.
Like, if you want to think about just a show that's fan service and action, like High School of the Dead comes to mind. Fan service and comedy, you got Hajime no Gal.
Yeah, that's true. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So you're saying, hey, it's fan service.
It can be the primary aspect.
But there are shows that are see, I understand why they would put. Let's explain fan service first. Because we're talking about this like whoever's listening to the show knows. Fan service are shows that are like American Pie or, for an older generation of guys, Porky's. They were kind of like teen sex comedies, lots of TNA.
Yeah, and realistically, fan service is probably not the ideal genre to dive into anime with, unless like unless you're just really into
unless you're into TNA. Yeah, if you're really into TNA, then by all means, go fan service.
Yeah.
Not something I would suggest for you. Like, you're going to have to have been watching anime for a while. You have to know what that word means without me explaining it to you before I would even suggest something. Like, I'd never suggest anything that has overly, almost to the point where I say, this is too much. Like, I don't know if it's that I've gotten older or my taste have gotten more refined, but I was watching a show and the TNA got so ridiculous, I quit it. Mocking Key comes to mind. Mocking Key was just like, it's supposed to be a fighting action. It was just at one point, it's just like, why are we looking at a shot of all these girls in like biker shorts and it shows the formation of their privates? This is disgusting.
But let's keep going. You fan service was last. And
fan service is terrible, and I don't like it. So what comes next? You said fantasy adventure. Now, this is like most video games.
Yeah,
so if we
this
say
is actually
adventure,
a genre. I say if people like video games, if they like playing Skyrim or they played World of Warcraft or even anything that had a story element and a character development element to it, fantasy is probably a good genre to dive into.
It really is.
Yeah, we got harem, which kind of can be fan servicey, just dependent on how it's done. Sometimes it's done beautifully well, like a current in-season show. What's it called? In Another World with My Smartphone. That one is
I like that show.
That one's a light harem, I think.
It really is.
It's not like the guy wants to be in a harem. It's kind of just like it's happening.
It has happened. It happened naturally. And you know what I love about it? I could watch that show in front of my grandson, and he would never understand that that's a harem anime.
It's a harem fantasy, actually. There we go. We're combining genres.
It definitely is. And when we say harem, you know what we mean. It's one guy is the central character, and he's surrounded by a bevy of beautiful women who all seem to love him and think he's the greatest thing in the world. Mm-hmm. And usually he is the most blandest, no personality having guy. And I don't
all relate.
Yeah. That's really, there's a group of people who watch anime that are that bland, no personality guy who dream of having a harem.
That's me.
Oh, shut up. That is not you. This is one of my favorite genres in recent years, horror.
Yeah, I think horror anime was a huge thing in like 90s and early 2000s, and it kind of like went down a little bit, but it's picking back up.
Yeah, there's some really good horror. What happened is that they started kind of actually making the anime mimic a lot of what Japanese horror films were doing, and there was really great writing and stuff that you couldn't do in film. You could do an anime for cheaper than a budget for special effects in a film.
Yeah, you didn't have to pretend kill a girl. You just draw a girl getting killed for real.
There you go. Magical Girl, probably the most popular genre in all of anime.
You think so?
Oh gosh.
I mean, I love Magical Girl.
Everybody knows who Sailor Moon is. We just had Sailor Moon Day.
You're right, yeah.
Magical Girls, everybody knows about Magical Girl anime.
Yeah.
And then if we really want to get into it, Puella Magica Madoka. What was it called?
Puella Magi Madoka Magica.
Yeah, Madoka Magica. Which, I'm going to just go ahead and say this right now. Love that series. But I would never suggest that as a first anime for somebody.
No.
It's on Netflix.
Is it really? Oh, yeah, it is.
It is. The entire series is on Netflix. It is amazing. All the movies are on Netflix. I just don't suggest it.
If you're listening and you hear us say any of these titles, just omit Madoka Magica until you've got like 24 anime under your belt, because that one's going to ruin you.
If you want to watch it, contact me on Facebook. Contact me on Facebook and I'll tell you, like, I will set up a phone call with you. I'm not even joking. I would call somebody and tell them, before you watch this, there's something I want you to know. I'm going to prep them for that one.
Yeah, that one's not.
It is a great anime.
That one was so good, and I went into it pretty much. No, I went into it. That one I went into blind more so than School Live, and it ruined me more than School Live did.
Well, let's explain this. This is a subgenre. This is a great time to talk about what a subgenre is. One of the greatest subgenres in anime right now, it's really hot. It's called deconstructionism. Mm-hmm. And what they do is you take something like a magical girl genre, which everybody knows is happy and bubbly and perky and bright
as fuck.
Yeah, and there's cute girls and they're fighting for love and for justice. And that's every magical girl anime ever has had that. And then you say, hey, why don't we deconstruct this and let's actually decide to make this really freaking dark.
Yeah.
And they just break it down and it goes in a different way. And it's not, I've never seen magical girls be sinister. This is some sinister shit they go through.
It's so good.
It's so many characters.
Just don't watch it first.
Do not watch it first. Okay, so let's keep it moving. Another genre, martial arts.
That's a classic.
Classic. You hardly see that anymore, but still, I mean, when we say martial arts, I think Fist of the North Star.
See, martial arts is kind of broad too, because it's pretty much any. It can be action, can be also martial arts, just based on how the action's dealt. Because action itself is so broad, but martial arts is slightly more defined. Like, if it's hand to hand combat, like even fucking what is that show? Bento, or what is it?
Yeah, Bento was definitely martial arts.
It's apparently, according to some people, it's a pretty terrible anime, but it's very martial artsy.
I tapped out. It was it was really weird. It was martial arts. It was a fighting series. But it was a weird premise, and I was just like, I tapped out. I tapped out quick. There's even some fan service. A little bit too much. Okay. Mecha. Oh my gosh, the originals, Mecha.
Yeah. Mecha is actually probably another good genre people could go into at first, because like Gundam's a classic for pretty much anybody who doesn't even watch anime and grew up on Cartoon Network most likely watched Gundam Wing.
I'm gonna tell you something about Gundam Wing. Does not hold up well the older it gets. That, like, when I was a kid, I was younger, and I saw Gundam Wing, and the first time, the girl gives in the Hiro Yui the invitation to the birthday party, and there's like, you can actually Gundam Wing infamous lines, and they're just videos on YouTube, and it's the thing, will you come to my birthday party? And he tears up the invitation. No, I'll kill you. And every kid I know, every young person was like, he's such a badass. And I say,
I love how you put the cracking voice in there.
She invited you to a birthday party, and you just told her you're going to kill her. You don't think somebody's going to call the police, Hiro Yui? You did not think this through. See, me as a black person, I was like, no, that is bad acting. You cannot do that. I definitely had issues with it, but I did just watch it all the way through this year, too.
Yeah.
I wanted to go ahead and bring it back. This is another one. Music. I think this is cool, because if you have somebody and they told me, I love old musicals, I love new musicals, I love Grease, I love, which I like to say Grease for the millennials was High School Musical. It was the same thing.
I mean, I guess I'm millennial, but I would not put that in my. I loved Grease, actually.
Yeah, but know that film. You probably were in school when that film came out.
Yeah, I sat through it begrudgingly.
I sat through it not begrudgingly.
I just couldn't take it. It was so like
what time is it? Time to have fun. A celebration.
What's the movie with the song Cups in it? Because I actually liked that one. The movie with the song Cups.
Oh, perfect.
Perfect Pitch. Pitch Perfect or Perfect Pitch?
Pitch Perfect.
All right. Well, I actually liked that one. I didn't like High School Musical, but Perfect Pitch, Pitch Perfect, whatever the fuck it is, that one seemed legit.
Pitch Perfect was that one. Yeah. I love musicals.
Yeah.
I loved High School Musical. I watched High School Musical 2. I watched some of 3, like I wasn't all the way into it. Like I kept coming in the room, and I'd sit down for a little while, and then I go do something else, and then I come back in. Like I kind of came back into the room for big musical numbers. Mm-hmm. But I had daughters, and so it was kind of cool.
Yeah,
I watched those. I liked them. Okay, so we go from musical, mystery.
Mysteries are fun.
So many good mysteries. And the thing is about Japanese mysteries they're like our psychological dramas.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the mysteries are not so much like a contemporary mystery. So a lot of them, actually a lot of anime literature and art and anime in general has some kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like they use a lot of their folklore, and that in itself is mysterious too. Mm-hmm. So yeah, mystery is a fun genre for anime. I'm not sure this next one is so much a genre as much as it is a means for studios to get away with more things, like OVAs and ONAs. It's not really a genre so much as, like, for example, for the newcomers to anime listening, an OVA is
an original animation video.
Yeah, so an OVA will be like, say a studio has a publishing contract and they make a 12-episode run, and they're like, oh, that was super badass, but why couldn't we put this extra little scene in here, this whole little arc? Well, because publisher didn't want to put this content out or something like that. Or it doesn't even have to be that. It could just be like they didn't have the budget, the time for it. But then they're like, you know what? We got a little bit extra time. We got some money here. Let's make this OVA. And there's a ton of anime that have these like OVAs that come out, and they're like maybe hour-long specials or half-hour episodes, just like the regular season. But you watch them, and some of the time they continue on with the story. Like anime, like K-On! Has like a couple OVAs in between the seasons.
Well, the other thing too that differentiates them is they didn't go through a theatrical release, and they weren't, traditionally aired on TV. They went direct to video. That's a term that we use in the U.S. a lot, direct to video.
And a lot of them come out with the manga too. Like
in Japan, they'll release it like, oh, this is going to come out this day, and it's going to have this video with it.
Yeah.
So that's, those collectibles. ONAs mean original net animation, which means that it aired on the internet first. It never, same thing, skip TV,
straight
skip
to internet.
Yeah, went straight to the internet. Now, it could come from the internet and eventually air on TV, but it had to air on the internet first to be an ONA. And I just think that's a term. I threw it in there because once you start getting into anime, you're going to start finding these weird terms of like, hey, if you like that series, you may like the OVA. And I don't want people to be, oh, I don't focus on OVA. Yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, you now know some anime terms. Okay, let's get into this one. Psychological. Mm-hmm. Now in Japan, they broke it into two. They said mystery, psychological. There are some great ones out here. Mm-hmm. Now, when we think of psychological dramas, I think in the U.S. we equate that to movies like I think Basic Instinct was probably the most popular.
Yeah.
When it comes to mind, there are some better psychological dramas out there, but that's one that comes to mind. That was a little heavy on the sex. So that would be a fan service psychological.
if we're translating.
Yeah, that's how we would do it. My favorite, oh my God, this is my favorite genre.
All right.
Romance. It is no secret how much I love. I am more of a romantic comedy guy.
Yeah.
But I've watched many a romantic drama.
Yeah.
So when they say romance, I like that romance is a genre, but once again, kind of like fan service, it can be romantic drama, romantic slice of life, romantic, or you can be watching a sci-fi that may have a romance plot to it, or an action adventure. Like if you watch Sword Art Online, there was a romance that took place between
romance was
Kirito and Asuna.
A subplot there in like halfway through the first season and all through the rest of the anime.
Right. All right. So romance, sucker for these. You know how I am on my romance. All right. Sci-fi.
Yeah.
Do we really need to explain this to people?
I hope not. If you're coming in watching anime for the first time, I hope you've at least watched some American sci-fi or even European sci-fi, like just Star Wars, like
Star Wars, Star
sci-fi.
Trek, Doctor Who.
If you don't know sci-fi, you might not be ready for anime. Just even if you don't want to watch sci-fi anime, if you don't know what sci-fi is, you might need to turn on the TV and sit down for a little while and learn yourself something real quick.
There's some things you might want to know.
Might be under a rock for the last few years.
How would you describe this next one? Slice of life. I know how I describe it, but that's not really how some other people would describe it.
Slice of life is my favorite. Where you have romance, I just love slice of life. I characterize slice of life anime as literally what that genre says, slice of life. You are watching a person or a group of people's lives just day by day, or cuts throughout the year. Like if we think about a slice of life that I loved this year, Kobayashi's or I guess it's Kobayashi no Dragon Maid. Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is a slice of life comedy
fantasy.
Yeah, it's vaguely fantasy. It's they try.
Do you know maids that are dragons? Because if you do, we have to have a long conversation.
But I'm thinking fantasy on the more of the aspect of literally you're watching anime Skyrim.
Oh no, man! I think if you got a dragon maid, we can throw.
It's fantastic cool.
Some fantasy elements.
It's fantastic cool.
Oh no, it was not.
It is fantastic cool. But no, like slice of life is literally that. Like, for example, in Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, we're watching the life of Miss Kobayashi and her Dragon Maid and her Dragon Maid's little friend who's a little lolly dragon, and her Dragon Maid's like worst enemy and one of her buddies, and all this other shit goes on. But it's like we watch one episode and it's like this day or a couple of days. What the next episode might be cut ahead like a couple of weeks. Next episode's like winter. Next episode's New Year's. Next episode's spring. Like slice of life is not like a day by day TV drama where you're watching Dude A and Chick B like make out, and then the next day they're like, oh, that was a great makeout yesterday, and the next episode's like, you remember 2 days ago when we made out? Like, it's not like day by day. It's more of like you're taking slices out of their life and watching that. That is that is how I characterize slice of life.
Yeah, and people ask me, what is slice of life? I'll tell you my definition. I always say it's just like a realistic interpretation of everyday life.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, it's just like, it's when you watch a slice of life romance, it goes through the highs and the lows and the joy and the sadness, and it's life.
Yeah.
I think what we would call it here are their dramas.
Yeah,
it's almost like a drama, but it's not heavily over drama like a soap opera. It is like normal everyday life. It's like watching an anime of people dealing with real shit every day.
I just had a funny thought.
What's that?
Would The Walking Dead be a slice of life? I see that look on your face.
It would definitely be a slice of life horror.
Action. Psychological.
Definitely.
If we want to just throw in another subgenre, post-apocalyptic would be one. Even that's not on the list because I don't think that's a very prevalent genre.
It's not a prevalent genre, but it's damn near a very. It is a very used subgenre.
Yeah.
I just don't think we put it in the list, but it's a good man. That's a good catch.
Yeah.
Good one. Yeah.
What else we got?
Let's keep it going then.
Sports and games. I do not like sports animes. I don't see. I tried to like sports animes.
Did you really?
I tried. I did. I promise. I did. But I just don't like. They're basically slice of life that revolve around sports. That's what it is,
yeah, bro. And they're really popular. You know what? Here's what got me about this. The people that watch them a lot are females.
Yeah. My little sister loves sports animes.
Women are really big. Like,
I keep on saying animes. I feel like it's just anime.
Yeah, you should say anime.
Anime.
Yeah, maybe animes. I don't care.
I mean,
we're in Texas.
Man,
Who
yeah,
cares?
we say y'all. It's cool.
We say y'all's. Okay, mind y'all business. And what we say is like, okay, sports dramas are like guys make a, hey, I was never good at sports, and I finally made this sport team. And it's soccer, baseball, basketball, and it really revolves around a lot of really good-looking guys on a team together in the camaraderie and brotherhood of sports and winning and playing toward a goal of a championship or state champions or, national champions. You
know why I think I might not like them so much is because of all those things you just described. Like, I think the most recent camaraderie thing I've felt is whenever we go to cons and we do badass work at cons.
That is our brotherhood. Yeah. That's our
sport.
That is our championship. That is us working. But you're right. So it's definitely different. I actually used to play sports. So I played football.
Yeah.
And I kind of know what goes into it. So when you're watching those and it's about the training and that goes into it, it is definitely slice of life.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
You know what else is interesting is on this list we have sports/games, but we could even break down the games part to video games or card games because card game and video game anime have become really prevalent lately. Like,
well, let's face it. Card games have been big ever since, what was that one that the Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh was huge for that. Card Captor Sakura, and
that was a magical girl.
She was.
That was a magical girl anime.
She was. What was that other one, man? So many different ones about cards. Digimon kind of was video game world because they were going into a digital world.
The digital world. What's
Sword Art Online is video games.
Yeah. Trying to think of one offhand. That's a video game or a card, or not a card game necessarily. What's it called? Oh, Beyblade. Beyblade's another game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's another game anime.
I can put you on one. If you want to play a card game and it's deconstruction and it's magical girls,
don't tell me this.
Selector Wishcross.
I've never heard of this.
Oh my God. I got Belly to watch it. I watched all of it. Brutal. Like Madoka Magica brutal.
Like, y'all don't watch that one either.
I can put you on the Selector Wishcross, bro. I'll send you all the information for it. But go into it knowing you're going to come out feeling empty and lost and broken.
Dude, that's been me like 3 times this year, so I can take it.
Okay, I'll put it on your list, man. I'll send it to you, but it's going to break you. It will break you. This last one, Supernatural. And when we say supernatural, I know some people think, well, is that horror? Well, supernatural could be ghost stories, ghost investigators.
Yeah.
I'm watching one right now that's supernatural that I am really enjoying. It is called Vatican Miracle Examiners. Mm-hmm. And it's about 2 priests who basically go out and determine whether something was really a miracle or debunk it as it wasn't a miracle. Yeah. And it's fascinating as hell. It's almost like the Exorcist TV show.
Yeah, this supernatural genre is really cool because it branches out a lot and it does a lot of that folklore stuff I was talking about earlier with the mystery stuff. Like supernatural folklore, Japanese folklore has a lot of supernatural like tenets to it. Like it feeds on the supernatural, and whenever you look at a supernatural anime, they might have Western influenced lore like werewolves and vampires. Oh yeah. Or they'll go into more of the ghosts and demons, the oni, which is
the yokai. Yeah, yokai, which is very Japanese. Yokai and oni.
Yokai is Japanese. I don't remember if exactly. I don't think it's
spirits, but not necessarily spirits, ghosts.
Kind of like and then oni is just means demon. Like if anybody's ever played a fighting game, they know oni.
Yeah, and which is really weird when we start talking about this is because the Vatican Miracle Examiners is very much based in Christian religion.
And ton of really good supernatural anime based on Western influences like Hellsing.
Yeah. Very interesting.
What else? I'm trying to think of one offhand. It's another vampire one. What is it called? I don't know. I'll remember it later probably, and we'll just randomly blurt it in for you guys.
Okay. Not a bad one. So here's where this is going to get good.
Gankutsu has a vampire in it. Really? I don't know if that counts, though, as Oh, that is kind of supernatural, actually. What? Yeah. Have you seen Gankutsu?
What is that?
It's the Count of Monte Cristo.
I have not.
You need to watch that one. It has... Okay, if we're going to... I don't know. The next thing we're going to basically cover is just what good animes are there to go into. Mm-hmm. Gankutsu is probably a really good one if you're into mystery, sci-fi, supernatural, because it follows... It's basically kind of like an anime futuristic retelling of the story of the Count of Monte Cristo. And the main character is a fucking blue vampire who lives on the moon in New Paris. Like literally, like me and my mom have a joke where we call him the Smurf pirate because he's fucking blue.
What?
Yeah, but the whole anime is beautifully done. All of the moving parts in the anime, all the characters, their clothing and all that stuff, except for their body or their skin color, I believe. Everything else is like an outline, and then they have like a texture, and whenever they move, whenever their characters or anything like that moves over the screen, the texture stays still and their outline moves, and like that texture like moves like the opposite way of their... I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it's super cool. Like it has one of the most unique art styles of an anime, and our buddy James actually also recommends that as a starter, as one of a good starter anime, because that's what he talks about in his Otaku Obento panel that he's done at the last 2 cons, is just good anime to start with, and that's one of his recommendations. It also has mechs in it, so it's kind of like a little bit of everything. So Gankutsuo, if anybody is interested in listening, Ganku, Tsuou, I believe. Gankutsuo. It's got a little bit of everything. I think it even has a little hint of romance. So
I got an idea. Here's what we'll do. We've been talking about whether we should start a page, a Team Lift Otaku Lounge page, kind of like our Team Lift page, or they can follow us on our Team Lift page right now, and we'll start posting some of these on our on the Team Lift page that's open to the public. And if you're interested in anything we talk about here, we'll post it there.
Yeah.
And all you got to do is go like that page, and you can stay up to date on these anime conversations.
I'm going to start making a list so that we don't forget to do that too.
All right, great, man. Definitely. So we made a post today on Facebook, and the lovely, wonderful people that we know and that have supported the show since we began have really chimed in on this. A lot of people who wanted these suggestions made have chimed in. So this one's going to go out to Carrie Daniels. She wants us to find something for her She liked Sword Art Online and Death Note, so she likes action and romantic.
Action, romantic, and supernatural. It sounds kind of like Death Note. I think is also almost a thriller to a point. So along those lines, like if you want something that's gonna keep you on edge, make you wonder what happens next. If you like fantasy and you like kind of like that otherworldly kind of stuff. And I don't know if she's actually going to like it, but ReZero comes to mind offhand because it keeps you on edge. Like, you want to see what happens next. You want to see... It keeps you... It has that thriller aspect where you're going... Well, I guess it's a different kind of thriller, but it makes you stand on the edge of your seat. Like, you're going to be wondering what happens next. It's got the fantasy.
But is that a good one to bring a starter into?
I don't know that she's really a starter so much as just...
It's been a while since she's been out.
Yeah.
So for her, somebody who's been out for a while, that may be actually a good series.
Yeah. See, ReZero, I think it's Starting Life in Another World or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I think it's the full title, just RE:0, like the word, and then that's all you really need. You don't need the rest of it.
Just find ReZero.
Yeah. That one's a good one. What would you suggest?
I'm going to go in a different direction than you on this one.
I know you are.
Yeah, I'm going to go in a different direction. I wanted to definitely, when you tell me you like action and you like romance, especially when you like Death Note, Sword Art Online, I think both were very actiony. Both had a very defined romantic relationship. You know, it was almost near the front.
I wouldn't say Death Note's romance was...
When you knew there was a girl who was in love with a guy who I'm not saying was a bad guy, but he did some bad shit. So, but there was definitely a stated romance there. More Sword Art Online than any other one. I'm going to go with one that's going to cross multiple genres, and I think it's a great one to bring her back. Eden of the East. Eden of the East tells that story about the guy who wakes up in Washington, D.C., butt naked, with a gun in one hand and a phone. And then the phone tells him, you have $10 million. You can change the world. What are you going to do? And this phone has the power. He can call somebody, and whoever that operator is on the phone, she can make things happen. They are controlling the world through these cell phones. It is a great mystery. It is a lot of action. It almost plays off like a Bourne Identity with less fighting and fighting with your brain. Your mind is your weapon. I found it to be fascinating. I thought it was really good. Like I said, it's going to cross multiple genres. Also, highly rated film. Like I don't even know if you can do it, but you can even look up the rating for that one on
Eden of the East.
Yeah, Eden of the East. It was one of the highest rated films at one time. I know it was in the top 25. I think on my anime list. Another thing about that makes it really beautiful, that film, the entire series and all the films were available on Netflix at one time.
At one time. Eden of the East. Let's see. I'm not really sure which one of these Eden of the East. Is it Higashi no Eden, maybe? Yeah, that one's a 7.99, so almost a perfect 8.
Bro, so there we go.
That's not a bad rating. I cannot say honestly that I've seen it, so I'm gonna put that on my list.
Yeah, let's see. I'm actually gonna look and see if it was still. It is no longer on there. Oh, I'm so sad. I was looking to see if we could still find it on Netflix. I will kind of keep Netflix open just in case we have. But I do know your Death Note that she watched and her Sword Art Online are on there. Those are like great series if you never watched them. I think Death Note, I would suggest people, especially with Netflix, since they're about to do a Death Note live action, they're about to do the live action adaptation of that.
They're going to do the American live action because the Japanese have already had a live action TV show and a movie.
And a movie. Yeah, I think I would suggest watching the anime.
Yeah. I
would suggest the anime. I'm not saying that the Netflix adaptation is going to stink. I'm just saying it'd be nice to see what the anime was like, to be seeing what they were trying to do with the American version.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go into the our adaptation of that, The Little Wary.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are. I don't think that's unfair to say. But definitely, Carrie, I'm going to go, my pick will be Eden of the East. Xane, you're going to go with ReZero.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's keep it moving. This guy who came in with his, I've never seen any anime. You got any suggestions for me? That was Adrian Oliva. We know him as Master Belly. He is a good friend of the show.
And he's full of shit.
He is full of so much shit. Actually, Belly has watched a lot of anime. So, Belly, we're not going to be making suggestions to you. Maybe he was just trying to get us to notice him, and he thinks of us as senpai.
Yeah, we're kind of senpai.
We're senpai for him. Just please notice me.
He can be our Twitter senpai because his following dwarfs us, but...
Oh, yes, it does. He really does. This next one, my homegirl, Meredith, tentacle porn. I told her we're just going to send her some messages. I'm not too wild for this show. We're not about to get into that. Now, this one here, fascinating. Kobe Wharton says, I was talking to my wife about me being such a nerd but not liking anime. I watched Dragon Ball Z growing up, but that's about it. I did watch Naruto, but haven't watched it in years. I'll try and catch your podcast and see if I see something I like. Interesting.
So Dragon Ball Z and Naruto, what he watched in the past.
Yeah, he was a...
You know what? I think if he's still in the action, if he likes action, and he wants to give an action-y mech show a chance that has a fantastic story, it has good emotion, it has good romance, he should look into Gurren Lagann. That is a fantastic starter.
That is a great starter.
Like, I actually, that's the anime that kickstarted me back into anime recently. Like a year and a half or so ago, I watched it on Netflix. Whenever I in the last like decade, I've pretty much watched Toonami exclusively for my anime. But then I watched Gurren Lagann on Netflix because like, I need to watch something new. And then, boom, now I'm here and I can't stop. And somebody save me, please.
Yeah. I think Gurren Lagann would be a great thing because we do have some mechs. We do have a lot of drama. There's...
It's the survival of humanity. So, if living is not
some high stakes.
Yeah, if living is something you like to do, you can at least kind of relate.
Yeah, I think this would be a good pick. I'm going to actually go with you on this one. I'm not going to... I was trying to think of one that could top that, but when he says that he came from Dragon Ball and he did Naruto...
we're going to give him something nice.
Yeah, I would say go with that. I think it's lazy. Like, the lazy pick would be, go with Bleach.
Or One Piece.
Yeah, there's just such a... Here's my thing. Bleach could be daunting for anybody because that's 366 episodes. All 366 are available on... you can actually do the entire series dubbed on Hulu.
I think that there's like 2 whole seasons of filler, too. Like, it's not...
No, bro, there's 4.
There's 4?
There's 4 seasons of filler. So, like, you'll get 2 seasons that are hardcore storyline. 3rd season comes along, filler. 4th season comes along, back to the storyline. 5th season, filler. 6th season, back to the storyline. 7th season, filler.
Damn.
It is a lot of filler.
That sounds like a lot of filler.
That is a lot of filler. No, it was not. I did it. Not hard to do. Loved every minute of it. I was a huge Bleach fan. I enjoyed the run. You can probably watch all of it. If you commit yourself to a schedule, 4 or 5 episodes a day.
That's a lot still.
Yeah, bro. You know what I would do? Like, I wouldn't watch other TV. I'd like come home and be like, hey, I'm home at 7:30 and I've ate dinner. I'm going to watch anime from like 8:30 until 11:30 at night. Bunch of 30-minute episodes. You can knock it out. But you're going to have to commit, and it's going to take you about 2 months. And you're not going to have much of a life on anything else.
What other requests do you have?
Oh, man, my boy Keith Quintanilla comes in there. I don't know, Pokemon, bro.
Keith likes Dragon Ball Z. He don't let him message.
I know, man, dude. He tries to play so much. Let's look at this one, man. Jake Arona, good friend of mine, man. Jake came in here with some starter shows. Let's break this one down. Kenshin Himura. Did you ever watch that, Rurouni Kenshin?
Yes, Rurouni Kenshin's awesome.
Inuyasha. Mm-hmm. Now, Inuyasha, I wouldn't necessarily suggest. Could be daunting. Heavy episode. Lots of episodes. That's a lot of episodes to try to come in Inuyasha.
It's also a really good, like, folklore, supernatural kind of show, though.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of action.
There was a very pronounced romance there.
Yeah. So, that one's not terrible.
You know what I like about this? Guys are coming in with a lot of good ones that had heavy romances to them.
Look at you.
No, I was just noticing these guys are really picking up some good ones. Like, there was a very pronounced romance in that one.
There was one very pronounced romance, and then there was one that was like kind of on the side and eventually developed into one.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some romance. There's a lot of romance.
Yeah, so Inuyasha, lots of episodes. Not sure I would suggest it as a starter, but if somebody's got, you're unemployed and you got nothing going on, yeah, maybe. Parasite, more of a recent show, last 2 years.
That one,
phenomenal.
I would say that one is not a terrible starter.
No.
Wouldn't be my first recommendation, but if you're going to say first 5 anime to watch, I would definitely put that one up there because it has that sci-fi.
Well, let's kind of break this one down. Parasite's the story of an alien invasion.
Yeah.
Where these parasites came to the earth and they tried to burrow into the brains of humans. And then they turned those humans into these supernatural, super strong cannibalist killers.
Yeah. Basically like alien zombie.
Yeah, they were alien.
Not really apocalypse,
They would bite your head off and feast on your brains. That was really what they did. Or feast on your organs. That's pretty much, they were just brutal, And to them, humans were nothing but cattle. Mm-hmm. The story gets interesting where this one kid who's very unassuming, he's kind of like a Peter Parker.
Yeah.
He reminded me of Japanese Peter Parker.
He's very Peter Parker.
He was Peter Parker. He was a bookworm, kind of a nerdy kid who ends up being attacked in his sleep by one of these aliens, but the alien gets trapped in his hands.
Yeah. He ties off his arm whenever he notices it crawling into his arm.
Yeah, so it can't get into his brain to turn him into a killer. So his hand becomes its own living entity. And now he has this power to do some pretty amazing things with his hand.
Yeah. Do you put it that way?
Yeah, he does some pretty amazing things. He can turn his hand into weapons and he can use it. It's just, but they create his hand and him form this symbiotic relationship where they now know he's aware of the aliens and he's basically a one-man fighting machine to stop the invasion.
Yeah, and it's pretty dope. I would say that's not a bad top 5 anime to get people started on, especially if you like gory stuff.
Wow, it was super gory.
Yeah, if you love gore, that's your anime. That's your first pick. Just watch that one.
Bro, it was so gory. It was so gory. Oh my God. Yeah, that put me through some things. Tokyo Ghoul. He came in with that one. Another new pick.
Yeah.
Pretty recent, pretty popular.
Another gory-ish one too.
Another one where the idea of vampires, or not necessarily, they're
a lot
cannibals.
Of cannibalism, yeah.
They're cannibals.
Yeah.
I mean, but they're supernatural cannibals. So they're vampires who they eat humans.
Yeah.
They feast on humans.
Yeah, they just eat them, not just
not just drink the blood. I'm going to eat this whole body as a meal. Mm-hmm. Tokyo Ghoul, another one, kind of a hapless kid, accidentally comes up on a scene, didn't need to see what he got. He sees this murder scene. He's about to be killed. He's bitten by the vampire, and so before she can kill him, he's saved. But now he's one of the ghouls that's going to eat humans.
Yep.
And so he finds out there are ghouls who don't want to eat humans, and it sets up a really interesting story of how they live. So there's some slice of life to it, but man, you talk about action-packed story. That is a really good one. These are pretty heavy on the gore. Jake, maybe I need to hug you next time I see you. It's
This is another one that too, if you don't want to go out and find a subscription somewhere, I believe it's currently running on Adult Swim right now. So if you want to catch an episode mid-season and see kind of what the anime kind of evolves into, you could do that and kind of go from there. If you like what you see, pick up maybe borrow somebody's Crunchyroll, or I don't remember if that's a Funimation or TV Tokyo, or one of those other publishers, but if it's Funimation, it's probably going to be free on their website. If it's TV Tokyo, I think that one they only do Crunchyroll. I don't know that they're on any other streaming websites.
You know what? I may have to look into that one. I may have to look, because Parasite, I think, is actually on Netflix.
Yeah, I think it is there because
I think that's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on.
So it's on all the big ones. So when we talk about the big ones, let's kind of get that out there. We have Netflix, Hulu,
Yep.
Crunchyroll,
Yep.
Funimation.
Yeah.
If we want to do it legally.
Yeah.
If you want to do it legally.
If you're just starting out, you should probably stick to the legal means.
Yeah, because, man, there's a dark world if you want to see it for free, but there's a lot of crazy stuff going on out there, and I don't trust every website, nor do I recommend it. Then you start getting into the whole thing about these people aren't earning the money for the stuff they create that we love. So, yeah, definitely, I want to say Parasite is on all the big ones. And in fact, I'm checking right now. And yes, all the big ones have it.
Nice.
All right. In fact, his next selection is also on here. This is such a hard one to explain. He went with Durara.
Durara is also supernatural.
It is supernatural.
He likes supernatural.
He really went with I like where Jake went with this list.
Yeah.
This is a great selection.
And Durara is actually another one that our buddy James recommends as a starter.
Great one too. Here's the thing I noticed about these. These were all ones that were very recent.
Yeah.
They're very popular, so people would be caught up on like, hey, what's hot in anime right now? If you picked any of these series, if you told somebody, oh, I just watched Tokyo Ghoul, or I just watched, Parasite, or I just watched Durara, these are all very recent and very popular. Definitely like these. Now, Durara is hard to explain because when you start talking about it, like if I go, oh, gangs, fairies, and a headless black rider all live in this one kind of mystical neighborhood, and it's, I'm not quite sure how to explain this to you.
I have no words either.
There's no way to explain this show to people. It's one of those things where you just say, look, trust me, just watch it. Yeah. And just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it will start to make sense to you. Like, you can actually go into the first episode and just go, what the hell is this? And just watch it. And you'll go, oh, I kind of want to see where this goes. That's really the only way to describe it to people. There's no way. Because when I say, wait, gangs and fairies and a headless black rider, yeah, kind of, it's weird. Just watch it. But it's done really well. And it's very slice of life.
Yeah.
It's just a different kind of show. So and I know that one is also available on Netflix. So Netflix, that one, good one. So let's see what else we got on here. What else we got? John Midkiff came in with Guilty Crown. Woo! Now, this is for the Sword Art Online fans. They may want to get down with some Guilty Crown. Matt Bontempi came in with Full Metal Alchemist.
Life.
But here's our thing. Once again, very popular, a lot to get through. I'm not sure I want to suggest these as starters for people.
I'm gonna see Full Metal Alchemist. I don't think that's necessarily one of like the easy, like go watch Naruto, go watch Inuyasha kind of easy, or not Inuyasha necessarily, but yeah, it's not one of the easy ones. Just like be like bullshit suggestions because Full Metal Alchemist it's fantastic. Like even the original pre-Brotherhood, watch Brotherhood. It's just as better, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
I think they redid the story and then added on more. But yeah, no, Full Metal Alchemist on its own is a fantastic one, but like you say, it's a lot to get through.
And also, the people who like Full Metal Alchemist, they've been in anime for a while.
Yeah, true.
The people that go into Full Metal Alchemist and enjoy it, they've watched, this isn't their first series, and they're not coming back after a long break.
I have a girl.
Not sure I would have went with that.
Yeah.
All right, but still gonna go ahead and keep it.
I have a
girl. Our buddy James, man. Now, James Hurt, we know him as at Pixelation.
He's the James I keep on mentioning tonight.
Yeah, he's the James that we've mentioned several times. James is a YouTuber, also one of our good friend of the show. Love this guy. He seems to be at a lot of cons like we are. He's, press at cons. He's also been a presenter. He's had his own, panels at cons. And that's how we met him, was at Anime Austin. And we've had a blast with him, and we've been real close to this guy ever since. He went with some that I'm going to say no. No. I'm not. Okay, Yuki Yuna is a hero. Amachu and the Art Club is a problem. Great animes. Not knocking them as great animes. Would you really want to suggest these as starters?
It depends on what people are into.
Art Club is a problem is cute. I can see that one. I think Yuki Yuna is a hero is on Netflix. You know what?
Speaking of Netflix, I think another really good one for people to just get into that's accessible if they have Netflix would be Little Witch Academia.
Yes.
Yeah, that just I forgot all about just thinking about like what people aren't suggesting, just thinking offhand what's available easily. That one's a pretty decent one that people could just drop right into. It's got a different animation style than most mainstream anime, but it's good. It's got a story there. It's cute. It's got about a bunch of fun stuff happening. So I mean, Little Witch Academia. It's on Netflix. If you want to give something a shot, give that one.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I could definitely go in there. It's easy to digest. I think Yuki Yuna is a Hero is a Magical Girl series also. And it's more of a traditional magical girl, where they wanted to be these heroes and now they finally got a shot. It's cute. It's easily accessible. When we start breaking it down, on Netflix, there are a couple of series that I like. If you're in the romance genre, let's just break this down. Your Lie in April is actually a really easily accessible show, easy to get into, not a lot going on. Definitely got some soap opera elements, because everybody's, dealing with their first love, and there's some things about it's bittersweet. It's very bittersweet. It is definitely more like life. I think there's some sadness to it that, when you go into this one, it's not going to be all, it just ended so cutely. Also, another great suggestion, if you're looking for something supernatural, if you were a fan of the X-Files, Mushishi. Mushishi was amazing. And it told a lot about this guy who was cataloging ghost stories, traveling through the countryside, and he was able to kind of hear all these stories about these different yokai and oni and stuff and catalog it and investigate it. It's available on Netflix, so it's good. A lot of these that we're going to talk about, whether it was the Pokemons or the Robotechs or, the Inuyasha, Rurouni Kenshin, all of that's available on Netflix. Yeah. Almost everything that we've talked about tonight, it's on Netflix.
We have a very specific request here from Michelle. Find me some dark fantasy anime.
Michelle, we got you, boo-boo. Dark fantasy.
I don't know. I would go...
No, we're going. You know where we're going. We're putting her on Madoka Magica.
Oh, God.
Michelle is, out of all the people, I love Michelle to death. My God, that's my ace, okay? Out of everybody on this list that reached out to us tonight, she would be the most ready to watch Madoka Magica.
Yeah.
That's my homie. Michelle, we're gonna actually. I'm gonna send you a message because I don't want to wait till after when the show airs. I'm gonna send her a message and I'm gonna put her on Madoka Magica. Dark fantasy. She would enjoy Parasite also. I think she's really gonna get a kick out of Madoka Magica. I think it's going to put her through some things. I would put her on Selector Wish Cross. Ghost Hunt. Did you ever watch Ghost Hunt?
That sounds vaguely familiar.
Ghost Hunt used to be on Netflix. I want to say it's on Hulu now. It was a story. It was actually really good. 25 episode season. So it was ghost stories. And here's the beauty. It wasn't a ghost of the week story. It would be like these 5 episodes are one story arc. This was one investigation that took place over these 5 episodes. The next 5 or 6 episodes are another story arc. That's what I liked about Ghost Hunt. Solid writing, very dramatic, supernatural, so good. Very dark fantasy.
Well, there we go. There you go, Michelle. Another request from Jeremy. We have only ever watched fully Ghost in the Shell and Akira. I would love some suggestions based on those two. I tried Dragon Ball and was never really never got my attention. Also tried Cowboy Bebop for one episode, but maybe it was just that episode. I think it was mid-season. So he wants something Ghost in the Shell and Akira-y, so sci-fi, maybe near, not apocalyptic, but kind of far-reaching fantasy future.
You know what? The thing about his list that I noticed is he took 2 what we would like to call masterpieces in the genre of anime movies.
Yeah.
And we may want to talk to him and say, are you wanting to go with movies? Or are you wanting that whole kind of like a Scanner Darkly, kind of.
What's that one anime about the android girl who there's a very specific scene that just makes my skin crawl, where her arms are being reached up through her her skin and what's that one called? Shit. I know this one.
Mm-hmm. If I was going to make a suggestion to him,
Yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say Paprika.
That's the one I was trying to think of.
Paprika.
Yeah, because there's that one scene where like the hands
know
are
what
being
you're
put
talking
through.
about, yes.
Dude, that just makes my skin crawl.
Paprika would
Yeah.
be great for him.
Paprika.
Yes. I know for a fact this is on, I want to say Amazon has it on their anime strike
Yes.
right now.
Yeah.
I know that's there. I'll do some looking for you, Jeremy. That's a film that it's about dream research and being able to jump into people's dreams and to help them through issues in their dreams and to deal with deep, troubling issues. But like anything, it goes horribly wrong, and some people figure out how to start doing some pretty sinister stuff with your dreams, and she is the dream detective, and she starts investigating it. You know what else is really good that's kind of like that? Right now on Crunchyroll, and he could watch this for free on Crunchyroll. It's a week behind when it airs, but if he has a free Crunchyroll account, he could watch 18F.
Ooh, yeah, that wouldn't be good.
18F is really going to kind of come in there. This is for everybody. Almost, I think Michelle even could get with that one, because that's going to have the ability of, there's this disease called sleeping beauty disease. And what happens is young women go into comas. And when they go into these comas, there's some very deep psychotic things that each lady is dealing with each week. And those things start to manifest themselves into where they are invading other people's dreams, or they're able to kill people.
Yeah, basically it's the dream world's a real place where you go when you dream, and if you're stuck there, it starts to you become able to manipulate the dream world to an extent that you can affect
What you do in the
other
dream
people.
world starts to affect things in the real world.
Essentially, yeah. So
And-
it's pretty dope.
I think out of all the shows I suggested to our group, and we do have a private group, man, that we call our Anime Talk group, which I think we may have to blow that thing up one day. We may have to just open that wide open for people and do it on a bigger scale.
Just make a Facebook group.
We really should make a Facebook group, man, and just go in there and just really open that up to the public. Maybe that's what our Team Lift Otaku Lounge page should be.
Yeah.
It'd be like our Anime Talk group, but we make suggestions about it. We'll do that. We're going to do it. You guys are hearing it. We're promising it. I'm going to do the page tonight. We will make a page.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we need something where people can come in there and they can actually, hey, man, I want to see this. And we can keep them up to date on hot anime that we're finding in music and stuff like that. Okay, cool. We will go with that one. So we got some pretty good ones. I think that one, Jeremy, Paprika, 18F, I think they're going to definitely be right up that Akira. I mean, they're going to scratch that Akira Ghost in the Shell itch. Those are the closest we'll hit him on those.
Yeah.
We can maybe, if you deal with those two really well and you like them, I can take you through some other ones.
We've been talking about a lot of serious anime though, like
A lot of stuff we're getting requests from is what they
Yeah.
want, man. I've noticed this.
I kind of wonder if anybody wants to like laugh or be happy, like
Maybe you know what? We can always do episodes about that.
Yeah.
We can do romantic comedies and we can do comedies.
yeah,
Let's do some comedies. Let's do a comedy episode in the future.
got it.
Okay. I think this would be great, man. Every week we could come in and do a show about, hey, this is great in this genre. Because with all the different genres, we're not going to get to everything in this one episode.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, but I think it's neat that people are hitting us up. My boy Tony Deaver, man, dude, this guy, guitars, Brink of Disaster, a great groove metal band out of Austin. He's hit us up tonight. I need some suggestions for sure. I only watched DBZ growing up. Still do, still love it. Dabbled lightly in Cowboy Bebop. Liked it pretty well. Yeah, those are two good ones. Was introduced recently to One Punch Man and absolutely loved it. One Punch Man is that comedy. It is the fighting show. It is amazing.
It's probably the funniest new shonen on the market.
Oh, yeah. Just started Xane on a whim and mostly liked it. That is on Netflix. It's got a weird digital kind of art style, so some people don't, like some anime fans don't like it. Some love it. I'm a fan. I enjoy this show. Let's see what else he says. Mostly liked it. I guess I have a thing for the unassuming hero type character or even anti-hero, especially when they cannot stand it. Jessica Jones and the Defenders is the perfect example of this, and the same reason I love One Punch Man so much.
So he likes the anti-hero action.
I got one.
What's that?
Samurai Flamenco.
Ooh.
Samurai Flamenco is really going to be, it's available on Netflix. Samurai Flamenco is definitely, I think, something that he would get into. I think it's easy to get into. I don't think it's hard to understand the show. I think the thing that I like about it is that there's a guy who decides, much like Batman, he's going to fight crime. I mean, that's really all you can say about it. The guy's decided, look, things are crazy, and I'm going to fight crime. And he takes it on himself. And when the show starts, he is beat up in an alley. He is butt naked in this alley, and he is he's like a male model. He's a good-looking guy, but he decides to become a mass vigilante, Samurai Flamenco, and gets more than he bargained for until a police officer kind of comes along and says, look, you're going to get killed, and starts to help him. And it's very much a Batman, Commissioner Gordon kind of relationship with this male model and this police officer, but it's very much realistic. So it's not like he's out here, kicking ass, and I'm an 8th degree black belt in jiu-jitsu. No, this is a guy who really becomes a vigilante, and he kind of takes it on himself. And the cop is not, they just have a weird relationship, but it's really good. Especially when you want somebody who's the unassuming hero. I think that's a trope and a subgenre that doesn't get enough respect.
Yeah.
Doesn't get enough respect, and I think it's great. And I think that this show would be, for him, great starter, easy to get into. 22 episodes. There's 22 episodes to that, and all 22 can be watched on Netflix. And I think that'd be a good series to start him on. I'll probably make a couple more suggestions. Do you have any other ones that you think he would really enjoy?
As far as like unassuming hero, anti-hero kind of thing. I'm trying to think offhand of something that might come to mind. Sound effect. Crickets.
That's such a tough one.
That is a tough one. That's not even that's not like my go-to genre or anything either.
I noticed he didn't say Death Note.
I wouldn't call it anti-hero so much as just psychopath.
It's definitely a battle between two opposing mindsets.
Yeah.
And let's face it, the lead character in that is considered an anti-hero.
Yeah.
Might be something I'll talk to him about, and let's see. I'll kind of turn him on to it and see what he thinks about it.
What about? Actually, I don't know about this one. I don't know how much is anti-hero so much as it is a guy who plays both hero and villain. But Code Geass.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, deep political drama.
Yeah.
That was kind of Code Geass. I see a lot of similarities to Game of Thrones and Code Geass. There was a lot of, jockeying and maneuvering for the throne in Code Geass. And the guy kind of did some things that, hey, you live long enough to, either die young and as a hero or live long enough to become the bad guy. That's very much what Code Geass is. Not a bad suggestion. I'd throw it on the list. I'd maybe ease him into it before I take him. I think either one of those, we could present it to him and see what he likes out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could definitely do that. What we'll do is, I think we'll set up the page, and then when we set up the page, we'll start pulling people's names every week. We'll say, hey, go like the page. We're going to pull your name, and we're going to make a post that's some suggestions for you to watch. All right, just to kind of turn.
You know what? I thought of one. It's a little old.
What you got?
It's kind of hero, anti-hero. I haven't seen it in forever, so my memory might be a little off.
I'm all ears.
Trigun.
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure the MC is not so much hero, not super anti-hero. He kind of hovers in the middle, but he goes around kind of saving people and shit. But he's not he's not doing it because he's fucking the Batman or anything. But he's not a bad guy. That's one of those shows I need to go back and rewatch just because I
remember he was being hunted, and there's a bounty on his head, and it's a huge bounty on his head, and so everybody wants him dead because of how much money they would. But overall, he can kill anybody.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to kill you. He could put you to sleep though.
Yeah.
And people just, even when people come after him to kill him, he wasn't I'm purposely going to kill this person coming out to get me. If I can get away from him, I will. But
yeah, I would say maybe more unassuming hero than anti-hero, because anti-hero, we're going into the realm of like Deadpool and characters like that.
But not necessarily, man. I think the anti-hero is just, there are some people who are just criminals and we love them and they're the heroes. I mean, let's face it. Lupin the Third is an anime about a cat burglar who was not trying to rob from the rich and steal and give to the poor. He was really just trying to rob everybody and be rich. And what happens is, in the process of him, hey, I'm going to Monaco and I'm going to pull off this heist, like in the castle of Cagliostro, he's going to go pull off a heist and ends up thwarting saving a princess and thwarting a overthrow of a kingdom. But he's not a good guy.
No.
He's not a good person. He was a bad person. He just happened to do the right thing.
That's another one that's really good dubbed, too. Like,
oh, my gosh. That is a great dub series.
Yeah.
And I've seen that movie, too. It actually, I think I gave it a 9 out of 10.
Nice.
It's near perfect for me. It's near perfect. I know a lot of people call that legendary film, but, I kind of watch it like, it's not that great.
We'll have to do an episode on movie suggestions at some point too.
Oh man, I got them.
Because we'll be here for another hour if we go into movies.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I know. Man, this was a good list. I mean, I really want to thank everybody that kind of put in their suggestions tonight, and they asked us great questions. Gunner 4, man, God, I love this kid. And if you ever get a chance, you're up in the Plainview, Lubbock area. He plays in a band up there. Gunner's a great guy. King of the Hill is the best anime of all time. I'm going to have a hard time disagreeing with you on that one, man. It's
a pretty good one. There's a lot of Bakai and a lot of senpai going around.
Yeah, man.
Propane senpai.
Yeah, Propane senpai. That's him, man. I love Hank Hill, man. Man, yeah, I think, I was looking at Michelle's stuff, like she was in the Death Note, Cowboy Bebop, Attack on Titan. Man, I think we got Michelle set up. I think we got her. I think Michelle definitely needs to watch Madoka Magica.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
That's good for her. I think we're going to put her right on her new thing.
The rest of you don't touch it, but Michelle's she's going to cry.
We need to do, I am a fan of this show. I went into it blind. I didn't find out anything about it. It was good.
It pissed me off that I went to it blind because I was going into it thinking, cool, I'm going to watch some cute magical girls do magical girl things. And I was like, oh my God, what?
It was amazing. It was amazing. I will send you the Selector Wish Cross. I'm going to fuck your whole 2017 up. I'm going to send it to you. Your 2017's wrecked after I'm done with you. Man, this is always fun. So I think let's do some future episodes and we'll start breaking down, like we'll pick a topic. I would love to do an episode where we just do deconstructionists and where you think you're getting one thing and it does another.
Yeah, I would love to talk about School Live for a little while.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But if we do that episode, we're going to have to put a spoiler warning on the front because you cannot talk about School Live without ruining what makes School Live amazing.
Yeah, and if anybody's listening and wants to watch a cute high school girl anime that turns itself upside down and ruins you mentally, physically, and makes you wish your heart was not inside your body, watch School Live.
I didn't tear me up like that.
Bruh. I love cute anime girls, and I can't stand that shit.
I have daughters, and it didn't tear me up like that. Now, I'm not going to lie. There's a part in that series where I got emotional.
Oh, my God. I know what you're going to...
I got emotional.
We're not going to spoil it.
I'm not going to spoil it.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I got emotional in one part. And then I was like, no, you don't do that. And I was emotional.
After everything else.
Yeah,
you
like,
don't do that.
That's how sad. What was that, 12 episodes?
No, the whole thing was 12 episodes. So I think that was like episode 11.
Yeah, I was somewhere in there like 10 or 11 when this one thing happens. And I was like, I've been good all the way to here. Like I'm watching it like, oh, I can't wait to see what happens next. Can't wait to see what happens next. Get to 10 and now I'm torn up. I've seen a lot of effed up things take place between 1 and 10. Episode 1 through 9 I've watched. No problems. I'm like, this is demented, but I like it. I get to 10 and I'm like,
no, you don't do that.
You don't do that. You crossed the line. You got girls in some bad situations, but you can't cross this line in episode 10.
Oh, shit.
Love that show. All right, guys, man, we totally love that you guys support us. Thank you for listening to the show. We're going to be getting out of here, but we will be doing more episodes like this, and we're always open. If you ever have suggestions or you want to know something or you have that family member that you're wanting to try to introduce to anime, you can always reach out to us at our email, goteamlift@gmail.com.
Check us out on Twitter, at GoTeamLift, I believe it is.
Yeah, and
Our
you
YouTube
can also
channel now has... we have a URL for YouTube now. It's
Yes, we did.
/GoTeamLift. So
yes,
check us out.
Super proud of that, and definitely subscribe to our channel. Like us on Facebook. You will get all the information on how to do that. We are always trying to push to give you more stuff, and this is how we'll do it. Reach out to us, talk to us, and we'll definitely keep giving you more episodes like this. Man, it's been a pleasure, bro. You ready to get out of here?
I'm out.
All right, peace. Thanks for listening to the Team Lift Podcast with your hosts, Brendan Bowie and Roderick McDaniel. Join us again next week as we discuss more topics from geek culture. Be sure to follow us on our Twitter page at GoTeamLift, as well as our personal pages at Coach Silky and at Thighside. You can direct questions and comments to us on our Twitter page, as well as find links to all of our social media outlets. Thank you for listening. See you again next week.